Greetings. My name is Dr. Erica Daniels, and I am an assistant professor of counseling at Evangel University within the online graduate counseling program. I'm a licensed professional school counselor and a nationally certified counselor. In this video, we will discuss gatekeeping and supervision. So let's begin. As professional counselors, we are responsible for our profession and the safety of the students and clients that we serve. Therefore, we have an ethical obligation to the profession to ensure that students and clients are safe and that we are not allowing individuals who are not prepared or are not competent into the profession. There is much debate about the process in which we engage in gatekeeping, but it is important to remember that the moral principles that guide our work. Autonomy, or fostering the right to control the direction of one's life for the client. Non-maleficence, or avoiding actions that cause harm. Beneficence, working for the good of the individual and society by promoting mental health and well-being. Justice, treating individuals equitably and fostering fairness and equality. Fidelity, or honoring commitments and keeping promises, including fulfilling one's responsibilities of trust in professional relationships. And veracity, dealing truthfully with individuals with whom counselors come into contact with. These principles guide the work that we do and should not be taken lightly. Within the ACA Code of Ethics, there are ethical standards that help us to remember our responsibilities to the clients and students that we serve. F.5.A speaks to ethical responsibilities in which the students and supervisees have a responsibility to understand and follow the ACA Codes of Ethics. Students and supervisees have the same obligation to serve students or to serve clients as those required of professional counselors. F.B.5 speaks to impairment, where students and supervisees monitor themselves for signs of impairment from their own physical, mental, or emotional problems and refrain from offering or providing such professional services when such impairment is likely to harm a client or others. They notify their faculty and or supervisors and seek assistance for problems that reach the level of professional impairment, and if necessary, they limit, suspend, or terminate their professional responsibilities until it is determined that they may safely resume their work. The American School Counseling Association talks about the maintenance of standards and also responsibilities to self. In Section E, Maintenance of Standards, Part A talks about school counselors confidently consulting with professional colleagues to discuss potentially unethical behavior and to determine if a situation is an ethical violation. In Section B, or Part B, school counselors discuss and seek resolution directly with the colleague whose behavior is in question, unless the behavior is unlawful, abusive, egregious, or dangerous, in which case proper school or community authorities are contacted. In the responsibilities to self, school counselors should monitor personal behaviors and recognize the high standard of care a professional in this critical position of trust must maintain on and off the job. School counselors are cognizant of and refrain from activity that may diminish their effectiveness within the school community. These standards apply to both practicing school counselors and school counselors who are in training. It is important for us to consider evaluation as a tool for gatekeeping. In order to determine if your supervisee is performing to standard, there must be effective and regular evaluation of their skill and professional growth. To do this, you must work collaboratively with your supervisee and the faculty supervisor. If there are concerns, they should be noted and addressed immediately. Do not wait until the supervisee has harmed a student or client before taking action. Also, regular assessment must take place. This program, according to KCREP standards, provides multiple opportunities for assessment of skill and professional growth. This was highlighted in the previous video, as well as the module on record keeping, and will be discussed further in the next module. These assessments are critical to determine if the supervisee is making progress. Coupled with regular assessment is the need for ongoing feedback. This can be formal or informal. There may be times when you observe a skill being used or a session with the supervisee, and immediate informal feedback is needed to address the situation or concern. There may be other times when during your structured supervision time, you are providing more formal feedback, as well as feedback on the documents that the faculty supervisor will review in the future. This transitions us to the notion that all documentation should be specific, particularly when providing written feedback. It is critically important for the supervisee and for the profession that your feedback or comments specific to the skills and abilities of your supervisee, as well as in the areas in which they flourish. Lastly, in rare but unfortunate situations, there are reasons a student can be terminated from field experience. Listed on the screen are some situations in which that can take place. 1. Placement ends due to site supervisor or agency responsibility not being filled. This could be inadequate or inappropriate supervision or inadequate or inappropriate field experience. 2. Placement ends because the field student is unable to fulfill responsibilities. A. Field students are terminated due to lack of compliance with agency policies and expectations. Field students' behavior with clients or coworkers or supervisor is unethical, or the field student's life circumstance does not allow for completion of planned hours. 3, a placement can end due to no fault of the supervisor or field student. In such situations, it could be that the site closes, or there are budgetary restrictions or a new policy. For all of the conditions, the field coordinator or faculty supervisor will work with the student to find an alternative field experience. For the second condition specifically, the field student may be required to complete a remediation program plan or to be removed from the program altogether. Again, gatekeeping is a professional responsibility that we must take seriously in order to grow our profession and to make sure that our students and clients are safe.